Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bandit Fishing UK. As you can see, I'm in the house. Just going to do a quick rig demonstration, and we're going to tie a 3-hook flapper today. It's a great all-round rig just for picking up bits and pieces, anything when fishing is difficult. Always crack out the 3-hook flapper and just see if you can get something on the beach. It's a great rig for beginners as well. There's nothing better than going out and catching something on your first couple of trips. You see pulleys and things like that, bigger baits. For new beginners, it can get disheartening. So just going to run through the rig and show you how I put it together. So the bits and pieces you need for this, to make this rig, you need some crimps, and I've gone for 5mm crimps, a lead link, a size 1 swivel, which is going on your end to connect to your leader. Your 3 snood swivels, which in my case is a size 4. A couple of beads to go either side of your swivel and your crimps. Some sequins and a couple of bait stops. So my rig body, I use an 80-pound Rovex rig body, and my snoods are 50-pound Sakuma. Just find that the snoods got a lot of faith in 50 pounds. Some people might think that's quite heavy, but when you're scratching in and around rocks, if you do hook into a better fish, you know you're going to be able to get it out, and hopefully that 50 pound, if it's an eel or something like that, it's not going to bite through it. Hook wise, I use a size 2 Sakuma Manta. That just seems to be my favorite hook for scratching. So we're going to go ahead and put this rig together now. So one very important part to making the rigs is knowing exactly how long your snoods are. I'm a firm believer of, if you know how long your snoods are and are very sort of particular about when you're making your rigs, you're going to end up catching more fish. You know that your snoods are 12 inches, and on a particular venue, the shorter snoods work better. Or if you're targeting a different species of fish like whiting, they particularly like a smaller snood. Or then on some venues, a subtle change, as much as 6 inches, making a snood 18 inches, can be a big difference. So I fashioned up, it's crude, but it's a measuring stick. And written on there, all my lengths are what I do. For flappers, I tend to use 12 and 18 for my sort of general fishing, and then if I was onto a flat beach, I might go up sort of a 24-inch snood, just to allow for a little bit of movement for sort of flounder. Today I'm going to make a couple of 12-inch flappers, just for the short, just like it was in that previous video, and I'll link that other video down below so you can see how effective this rig is. So start off with your rig body and tie on your lead crimp. So pop it through. Very simple knot for me. 1, 2, 3 through, and with your knot puller, pull tight. Snip off the tag end, and then because we're going to make a 3-hook rig of 12 inches, so it'll be total of 3 foot long, you want to make the rig just a little bit longer than 3 foot, so you've got a separation between each snood. Because if you ended up making your rig 2.5 foot and you've got 3 foot's worth of snood, your snoods are just going to overlap and tangle. So we're going to go for a 4 foot trace. So we're going to go 1 and across and just snip that there. Right. Better to cut it on an angle. I didn't then. Better cut it on an angle just to make a little point, because then you've got a point just to thread everything through. Now it's a simple sequence of crimp, bead, swivel, bead, crimp, and repeat that. So I'm just going to quickly go there. Got these small aero beads. That's my preferred sort of bead. As you can see, the teardrop shape is facing down the line. Okay, and then that just means that when you've got your swivel on, your swivel sits against the fatter part. Okay, another, and obviously when you're doing it the other side, you just reverse it. So you've got your swivel locked, just like that. So I'll quickly run through this now. I know that Phil does like to use, obviously I've gone for a 4-foot rig body then. Phil is a big fan of having his rigs or his rig bodies a lot longer. He might make a 3-foot flapper, or sorry, 12-inch snoods on a flapper. He might have his rig body more towards 6 foot. He's a firm believer of he'll have his bait spread over a longer part of the seabed and hopefully find a fish better. And it does work very effectively for him. So it's the last one on. Right, and then same, put your swivel on. That's your one that's going to connect to your leader. And again, just whipping on, same knot, 1, 2, 3, and through. Pull him tight, snip him off, and that's done. So what I tend to do is in a session, I might make up, or in one evening, I might decide to make 10, 15 bodies, and then that's me done for the night. And then the following day, make up the snoods, and then perhaps the day after that, just put them all together. So that's the rig body, and we'll just show you how just show you the snood, putting together the snood now. So the snood is made up of a size 2 Sakuma Manta, a small sequin, Tronix Pro sequin, and a Tronix Pro bait stop. And then on 50-pound Sakuma, and that's a 12-inch snood. So to make this, very, very simple. First of all, take your bait stop. Great little devices, and they'll help your baits, help prevent your bait from sliding up the lines, as we've said many times before. Reason for the sequins is you pop them on, and they again just aid and assist the bead, because otherwise what you might find is that the like a worm or something like that, the mouth of the worm can slide up over a normal bait stop, and then what you'll find is that obviously the bait stop is really null and void. It's not doing its job. So put that on quickly, and then hook, and it's the same knot I use for all my fishing. It's pointless going through all the different types of knots. I find there's no need to complicate it, but with a thinner line, go for 4 or 5 wraps instead. Pop it through, sharp, very sharp. Pop it through and pull it down. Trim the tag end off, but you might want to leave a small amount just to help keep bait on the hook. And that's how you got it. Measure him out, just over 12 inches. So you know your snood is going to be 12 inches long then. Trim him off. And there we've got the snood. Now all we've got to do is put it all together. So I've got my 3 hook lengths and my rig body. And we're just going to put all these together. What I prefer to do is tie them all on and then crimp them afterwards, and I'll show you why. So we're just going to tie these on, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the swivels I use as well, Electronics Pro, very good swivels, a lot of faith in them, strong quality swivel. It's pointless going cheap on things like that. Last thing you want is for a swivel to fail or any components to fail and result in a lost fish. Could be a fish of a lifetime, you never know. So it is worth getting them. They do max packs as well, which are great quality and at quite an affordable price. If you find you're not really splashing out too much then, because it can get all very expensive, all this. Here's my third one, here it is. And the last one on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just trim all those ends off. 1, 2, and 3. They're the best thing I've bought in a long time. So handy, small, sharp, make rig tie-in so much easier than a big pair of scissors. Right then, pliers. So, crimping. Top one, I only use 5 crimps because I will trap the top snood against that top swivel. Always do. Don't push it right up. See a small gap there, hope that's focused. See a small gap there? Just maintain a small gap. That gives the rig or the snood the ability just to move around a bit and give it a bit more free motion, spin around if needed. If you trap and pinch them in, that's going to stay firm and you might not get movement to entice the fish to bite. So that's that one there. And then the bottom one, what I like to do is measure up so it's just above where the lead would sit and just crimp that into place again. Look at that. There. And the same thing goes for this one. Leaving a small gap just so you've got that movement. Right, and then for the middle one, it's just about finding the middle of that. So put your two swivels together where you've had your snoods. Find your loop. Get one of them to drop to the bottom. There we go. Crimps drop to the bottom, and just simply crimp that one in. Because I've made the snood at the rig body at 4 foot. I know the snoods are not going to interlock and tangle. So all my rigs are made with the intention that they can be fished clean or rough ground. So on any of my clipped rigs, I use an imp, and I can simply add on whatever weak link system I want to. And the same now applies to this, where I've got my lead link. I can just add on a rotor or one of the links that we use. And what I use, one of these links. So if I wanted to fish rough ground with this, I can just clip it on and away to go, ready for the rough ground. Or if you're going fishing a sandy black beach, grab it out of your rig wallet and you're away to go. And that is the rig finished. So we got 3 hooks, tangled with a minute because it's a bit curly, all, as you can see, none touching, all free flowing, and that is the ideal rig for, I say, you can catch anything on it. You can lengthen them and catch rays on them, and I have done in the past. And you can shorten them and catch rockling and pouting and things like that, as I did in one of the previous videos. So thank you very much for tuning in. And if there's any rig demonstrations or any other rigs you'd like us to run through, drop us a comment and we'll be happy to do so. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. Stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you on a beach shortly.